Good day, global citizens. Normally, on my birthdays, I usually have birthday interviews, but this year I choose to change the interview style, the video style. I mean, because lately I've been doing a lot of interviews, so I wanted this video to be different. Usually on my birthdays, it's usually question answer, and I've noticed I've done this for 2-3 years or so. Every year is usually unique on its own. This year, I choose to remember. I'm a multifaceted person, so I choose to remember a part of me which I feel I will never explore. So if you saw in my birthday video, I had a ball. Since childhood, I loved football, but it has been an aspect of my life I couldn't pursue and I can't pursue. So when I see people like Azeezat pursue, I'm like, keep playing for both of us. And in as much as some of us people see us as multi-potentialites, we know we are multifaceted, but it's good to sometimes let the world know that in as much as you can do many things, there are some things you might not be able to pursue due to personal reasons that you might have, which of is best known to you. So this is for every multi-potentialite, multifaceted person who can't pursue everything they feel they want to do. As long as you are pursuing as much as you can and doing the best as you can, that's what is right. Over the last 3 decades, I've had a very beautiful life, because to me beauty comes from the relationship with God, not your relationship with these creatures. So I've had a very beautiful life, and if you are close to me, you must have heard me say I miss the way I used to be God-fearing when I was younger. I used to say that at university a lot, that when I was younger I used to be God-fearing. I don't know what happened, and for some reason God answered my prayer. So I'm sure I prayed. I'm very sure I prayed. I can't remember, but I'm very sure I prayed. God answered my prayer and things turned around for me positively. Even when the world knew me as, oh, very religious girl, you understand, very religious woman, or very God-fearing woman. And to me, I feel that was nothing close to who I want to be. Even though the world admired, I never admired that aspect of God. I wasn't grateful to God, but I knew I could do more. Even at this point, I know I can do more, but I'm not privileged with the time and the resources to be able to deepen my relationship with God. And when the time comes, if it extends my lifespan, if it gives me the resources to pursue it, definitely I will go for it, because it's something that makes me fulfilled. So if I should describe my first decade on earth, I'll say explorative. Second decade on earth, I made some mistakes. Third decade on earth, second decade on earth, yeah. Third decade on earth, I made fewer mistakes than my second decade on earth. But my third decade on earth was yes, my third decade on earth was where a lot of who I am, I realized who I am and who I want to be. I realized what works for me in terms of things, in terms of people, in terms of geographical locations, in terms of values. And in my third decade, that's where I learned bitter pills I have to swallow, the sacrifices I have to make to be able to move forward as an individual. Whatever is worth pursuing is worth pursuing well. Whatever is worth doing is worth doing well. And it made me, it refined me, because I come from altruist family. I come from a very selfless family, very loving and generous family. So being an altruist and an humanitarian, my third decade on earth refined me on level of altruism that is visible with humans and livable with. So what I envision for my 40th decade, because it's the 40th decade, what I envision for my 40th decade is just basically more fear of God. I'm God fearing. I don't feel there is a level where an individual has too much fear of God. I will be like, oh, I don't think I can grow more in fearing God. No, I don't think anyone can reach that level. So I envision more fear of God. I envision God fearing, kind people coming down my paths and walking on my paths. People who not just take from me, but also pour from me. In my third decade, I realized I was one just pouring, and when a gap in my life where I couldn't pour, I realized no one was actually pouring with me. So I realized if I was not doing the pouring, no one was doing the pouring. I realized if I was not holding some relationships, the relationship would stop. So I was basically the one owning the relationship, anchoring the relationships, and that was a draining aspect of my life. I don't wish for anyone, and I don't want to return to. So my 40th decade is for aligning with people who align with God, and also align with my values and where I'm headed to. And it doesn't matter if it's one person. Career aspects, I look forward. I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic career-wise. I'm laughing because when you are an invested parent, especially a woman, the tides change, and I've realized in recent years I've admired older women. When I say older women who have grown up children, who can travel the world the way they want, who can attend events the way they want. The only thing they have to do is maybe travel to their children's school or take the phone and call their children. But they were once in my stage, being present for the children, because the children won't be 2 years forever, they won't be full class forever. So I look forward to my 4th decade on balancing family more and career. It's so cold outside here. Balancing my career and family and being a more fulfilled human. Currently I feel I'm living under the stars, the brightest stars. Currently I feel I'm walking in the most beautiful garden, and it took me recurrent betrayals to realize that only God can fill the position of best friend in my life. It took me recurrent betrayals to know that there are some things that I can only share with God, and sincerely, I don't see any human on earth filling that position of best friend, because the things you know, you won't even be able to keep quiet. So I really understand the way my life cycle has been in terms of having very, very close people, and I realized, okay, relationships I can have with people are acquaintances, friends, mentors, but best friend, it has to be God. Because only God can stay in that position. There is too much information for a human being to hold. So at 31, I'm fulfilled, and maybe the world don't understand the form of fulfillment I have. I guess with time they'll understand. But my best friend understands, and that's priority, and that's all that matters. Yes. I just want to say, if there is anyone in their second decade or third decade watching this video, I am to give anyone an advice is foster your relationship with God. Make sure the people around you are aligned with you. Don't keep people around you because of history. When they don't fit your vision, people can be like seasons. So people can be like parts of a tree. I mean, some in winter they lose their leaves. Some are roots. In all seasons they are there. Some are leaves, some are branches, some are fruits. So know who is who, and don't treat a person who is a root like a fruit. I don't treat someone who is like a leaf like a fruit. So that has been one of the major lessons I've learned in my 3 decades on earth. Because personally, I'm someone who is, if I'm all in, I'm all in. If I'm not in, I'm not in. So I used to treat everyone in my life like a roots. Very major people were leaves and fruits. Majority were leaves and fruits. So that's one of the lessons I learned in my 2 decades on earth. Another lesson I learned in my 2 decades of earth is anybody can change. I saw Ashake performing a few days ago, and I was like, the irony is, with all the songs he sang, if anything happens to him and he dies after performing Umbra, let's say assume he dies in Medina, there is a high probability he will go to heaven. God is all forgiving, all wise. He knows what he's doing. So anybody can change. The most religious can change and be far from being religious. Why someone who doesn't look religious can change and take God more seriously. So never look down on anyone. That's one of the lessons I learned in my 3 decades. And never look down on anyone. Anybody can change. Anybody can change. The world can change in any direction. Just pray. If you are to change to a more positive version of yourself. So that's all I have to share. I don't want this to be a question and answer. That's all really I have to share for my trip. If I have any other thing I have to share, it's in my caption. But basically that's what I have to share. Yes. So thank everyone who have been riding with me. I doubt I have anyone who has been riding with me for 3 decades. I don't have any childhood friend. But I doubt, because the person I know is dead. So if you've been riding with me for my first decade, my second decade, my third decade, thank you so much. I look forward to what we are going to do together in the future. Let's be good people and let's impact greatly. I look forward in my first decade. I look forward to amplify the impact of each and everyone. Yes. We are not going to change that because of our experiences. We keep helping because our goal is to see the face of God and not to see the face of humans. So thank you everyone and have a blessed day. See you on my 32nd year. The code is so much. Yes, in my eyes.